in our earlier conversation, Will, you are both a data provider as well as an end-to-end activation solution. And so, how do you balance that desire for personalization that Evan's talking about with concerns about data, user privacy?
Yeah, I think I had mentioned when we first chatted, as far as privacy, some might call it conservative, we might just call it responsible, but we stay out of any of the kind of either nebulous or potentially icky, for lack of a less professional word, like icky areas, right? We don't really get into healthcare data. We try to avoid location-based data. We've got enough within our identity graph and within our sort of multi-layer look at what a data profile really looks like to be able to avoid that stuff. Mm-hmm. So we just kind of stay out of it. And additionally, we have an internal, with some advisory externally, but kind of a privacy compliance council, so that we make sure that we're abiding by everything. I think there's still plenty you can do without delving into the sort of more gray market or kind of, I wouldn't go so far as sketchy, but those kind of like gray market areas of data.
And I want to put out to the audience as well, we are taking questions. I think we might be the first panel today that's actually taking questions. So if you want to use your QR code to ask any of us a question, feel free to do so. Okay, so moving on. I mean, Evan, on your side as a publisher, how are you using your access to so much of your viewership data to create custom solutions and at the same time, respecting privacy, following regulation? What are you seeing as the main benefits and risks there?
Look, I think we've done a really good job as an organization building for privacy. We have a team of product managers dedicated to privacy and engineering group that just focuses on that, as well as a legal team, a compliance team. So we have like a privacy arm of our company that anytime we release an ad format or we try to build out any type of targeting capabilities, it goes through this kind of rinse cycle. So that from a privacy perspective, we're in a good shape. We also try not to collect too much from people, right? We try to collect the things that matter. Going back to your question about personalization in the beginning, because we want to deliver you the best experience. We've got this huge breadth of content on Max, and we want to make sure that we're surfacing the right content to the right people, but we don't need to know a ton about you to do that. So I think, right now we're not even collecting age currently on Max. I think that's going to change relatively soon, but for the most part, we're collecting email addresses and really just focusing on contextual, like behavioral patterns, like what type of content does this person watch, and then building segments off of contextual data.
Well, that's really interesting. That Max is not collecting age information.
Not today, no, but to come probably fairly soon.
So if I'm representing an alcohol advertiser, can I be confident that my ads are reaching people 21 plus?
You get it through third party, right?
Okay.
And we get it too when you sign up. You have to be of a certain age to sign up for Max, so there's a bare minimum. But having those like breakdowns of like, is this person 18 to 24? We're going to start to do that late in Q4, age and gender.
Now, is there a world where your data solutions would be applicable to discovery inventory? Is that something that?
Yeah, I mean, we have a fair amount of overlap, right? Some people come to us as a primary data source. In other cases, they're just appending our data to their data and kind of like looking for a bigger kind of pool to swim in, if that makes sense. For a lot of our clients, as I said before, we're sort of an end-to-end solution. So they might get, which we talked about a little bit about this. I think one of the biggest challenges, just digressing a little bit, is that, things like supply path optimization and knowing, people are paying much more attention now to the initial targeting data. Right, because a lot of the time, like you get this great data and you pay a fortune for it, or you buy it from several sources, all the different marketplaces, and then when it comes to applying it and actually launching campaigns, you're not exactly sure in a lot of cases because there's just so many people potentially along the way that you're interacting with, whether that be third-party vendors and other companies, or unless you're using kind of a one-stop-shop methodology, that you're not exactly sure who's ultimately seeing your ad. Right, we have a little bit more control over that because we're doing it all in-house. But yeah, we have certainly there's plenty of cases where we are serving as a data append to other people, kind of coupling with their first-party data.
We also have like a weird set. So we've got Max subscribers in one place. We've got NBA.com users in another place. Then we have WBD games. So there's all these different identity kind of different like user bases that we've had to kind of smush together into a pretty large identity graph. But again, because they're doing such different things in those environments, it's actually helped us have a pretty robust like contextual taxonomy.
And I think, one thing that we want to talk about, I'm obviously on the buy side, I'm on the marketing, agency side. You're both on this, I call it the supply side. How are you seeing the best of the best overcome operational and strategic silos? So, you represent both linear and streaming. You deal with clients that are, top to bottom, full funnel marketing. I'd love to hear a perspective on like what are you seeing as the best way to overcome those silos, or do you feel like there are some challenges that are just not moving forward?